بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين الحمد لله. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity for us to continue with our lesson in the Adab Suluk al-Murid Imam al-Haddad and Badi Muharramiyah. And we pray that Allah bless this session, make it a reason where was sin to forgive and prayers answer inshallah ta'ala. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Today I'm feeling a bit unwell. Inshallah I will try my best to explain. Hopefully inshallah becomes a reason of shifa by the barakah of getting of knowledge inshallah. So in the Adab in Suluk al-Murid of Al-Imam al-Haddad, we have come into chapter 19, where the author speaks about the importance of keeping any good company. There are many hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ that speaks about the importance of having good company. We have the famous hadith Al-Mar'u ala dini khalilihi, a person, the religion of a person is based on the religion of his friend or his close friend. Basically, the Prophet ﷺ is saying that human beings we are influenced by the people around us. So when we put ourselves in a situation where we mix with bad people, then those bad characteristics will be prevalent in us after some time. Likewise, when we put ourselves in the company of good people, inshallah the good characteristics will be prevalent in us after a period of time. So the fact that human beings they are influenced by the environment, we are influenced by the people around us. So that is why in Islam it is very important that we make sure that we are always in the company of the good. Here Imam al-Haddad speaks about the importance of having not only people who are good in their characteristic, but it is also important for us to have a guide, a person who is able to guide spiritually, able to guide in terms of what is halal and what is haram, that we are able to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and emulate the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and see in front of us an example of that. So he mentioned audio seeker. Again, we find in the book of Adab Suluk al-Murid, always he address the seeker. So this particular book, Adab Suluk al-Murid, that's what we mentioned many a times last time, that Al-Imam al-Haddad is referring or is speaking to a person who is a seeker, a salik. So the meaning of a salik is a person who has the conviction that his purpose in life is to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is the maqsood. Then only this person is a seeker. He is clear that the purpose and the ultimate purpose of his life is to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the meaning of as-salik. So Al-Imam al-Haddad is addressing this category. So he mentioned the audio seeker, you must take the greatest care in keeping the company of the best of people. That's what we mentioned, because human beings, we are influenced by the people by the people around us, and attend the gatherings of the pious. It is important for us to put ourselves in good gatherings of knowledge, gatherings of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because not only we are influenced by the people around us, we are also influenced by the environment, and putting ourselves in a good environment will make us and be influenced by the good any things that are present in that environment. So this is the advice of Imam al-Haddad, put yourself with the best in your people who are pious, people who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people who remind you about death, people who remind you about iman and amal, and put yourself in the gatherings of the good, the gatherings of knowledge, gatherings of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he mentioned, then search with utmost concern for a good guide or teacher, a pious, righteous man, a man of guidance and good advice. Then Imam al-Haddad speaks about the importance of having someone as a guide that is able to point to us the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is able to advise us what are the things that we are required for our provisions in that particular journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here Imam al-Haddad speaks about some of the characteristics of this teacher. So firstly he mentioned a man of guidance. This particular person is a person of guidance, in the sense that he is guided in terms of his belief, in terms of his knowledge, in terms of his deeds, in terms of his thoughts, in terms of his character. So this is a man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person who remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person who possesses good akhlaq, a person who emulates the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a person who is learned in the Quran, a person who is learned in the Sunnah. So we say this is a person who is guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, zahir and batin, in the outward knowledge and likewise in the inward knowledge. And a person of good advice, a person who showed good examples to people, a person who gave good advice to people and to da'wah to the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has knowledge of the Sharia. This is important, that this particular person is a person who is learned in the laws of the Sharia. So laws of the Sharia refers to the knowledge of fiqh, the knowledge of usul al-fiqh, for example, that he understand how to perform a particular ibadah, what are the things that is haram, what are the things that is permissible, what is the thing that is makruh. So he is able to give the proper advice. He is able to guide a person who is jahil. Then he mentioned he has traveled the path to Allah. The meaning here is basically he is a person not only possess knowledge, but he practice that knowledge. He is a person who practice that knowledge. So the meaning of tariqah is to practice the Sharia. So when we obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we obey the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we emulate our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so we are taking a path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is by having faith in Allah, and by having by obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inwardly and outwardly. So this particular person is not a person who is knowledgeable, but a person who put his knowledge into practice. Al-ilm wal-amal. A man who has tasted and know the truth, and he was tasted we say the haqiqah here, or we say the knowledge of al-ihsan, where our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned al-ihsan an ta'budallah ka'annaka tarahu, a person who has reached the level of muraqabah, that is in constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he has reached the level of conviction, the level of yaqeen, the level of mushahada. That's what our scholars mentioned, that he able to witness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having a certainty, having any yaqeen in the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having a high level of faith and iman. A man who has perfection of mind and vastness of breast, a person who possesses wisdom, the knowledge. That's what our Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, wattaqullah wa yu'allimukumullah. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have taqwa into Allah, and Allah will teach you from the knowledge that you do not know. So there are certain knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless a person when a person has taqwa to Allah, when a person observe the sharia, when a person obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when a person possess a good character, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him with knowledge that he does not know. So our ulama mentioned this is any knowledge that is ladunni, yani min ladunna ilma. It's what Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, that Allah gave Nabi Khidir alayhi salam knowledge that comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we Muslims we must believe, because it's mentioned in the Quran. This is not something that is mentioned by fulan or by fulan, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala specifically explained in the Quran, and there are certain knowledge that Allah bless so many of his servants. So our scholars mentioned there are knowledge that you can attain from books and by learning, and there are knowledge that you attain direct from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But of course this is not revelation, but this is in the form of inspiration. This is in the form of inspiration. So the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are always in a state where they receive inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, ittaqu firasat al-mu'min fa innahu yanzuru bi nurillah. Fear the firasah of the mu'min, fear the sight of the believer, because he sees by the light of Allah. That Allah bless people with certain sight, that Allah bless people with certain knowledge, that He is able to see what others do not see. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with this maqam, this station, this level of ihsan, this level of spirituality. As what our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the famous hadith of Jibril. So he mentioned wisdom in management, knowledge of the ranks and status of mankind. And then he mentioned and the ability to discriminate between what is in them due to their instinct, innate inequality, status and states. That is a kind of person who is able to look at the shortcomings and look at the strength of people, and able to give the proper advice, so that people can rectify themselves. So this is a knowledge, and this is a skill that people possess in order to guide others spiritually. And how do we guide spiritually? By being able to look at the weakness, and how to improvise on those weaknesses that are present in the hearts of people. So here Imam Al-Haddad is speaking about this particular or this category of people who are obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are always in the path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who are able to guide others to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says that if you find one, then you should always keep the company of this person, because being in the company of these people, and we will also be influenced by the goodness, be influenced by their station, be influenced by their spirituality. And this is important for our spirituality, because we are in need to always be in the company of the good, as what we mentioned, and to be in the company of a person who is able to guide us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the bonus, and that is something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless those who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with tawfiq and hidayah. And although people of such nature are difficult for us to find today, but they are still around. The bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are plenty, and there are people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with such ranks and with such stations. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to the right path. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen.